Peace, peace, peace. What's up, y'all? Blessings. Good to see you. Whew. Welcome to Rerootd Radio. We are 5 episodes in season 2. Technically, this is the 16th episode, and do not ask me how. We made it. We are here. I'm going to call this episode a Rerootd Reflection and just take a moment to pause and see where we're at in the conversation. Rerootd Radio is a place for creatives who are committed to wellness and their creative practice and our ancestral roots. If you are someone that is an artist in any form and is not only just putting things out into the world for the sake of putting your art out into the world, but really being intentional about how you are taking care of yourself and how that care is shown through your work and part of your community. So we're just going to be kikiing and talking today. I don't have no guests. It's just myself. Hopefully some of what I'm reflecting on in my journey and what these episodes have brought up so far will be some value to you. So as always, just take a moment just to ground real quick. I know there's a lot happening with these transitions and just getting closer and closer to this fire horse energy. So wherever you're at, if you have the capacity to close your eyes, if not, just become mindful of your feet on the ground and your breath. If you would like to take 3 breaths with me, just exhale all the air out of your lungs. Take a big inhale through the nose here, filling up the belly, and exhale through the mouth with a sigh. Another inhale through the nose. And exhale with a sigh. Nice. This last inhale, inhaling and shrugging your shoulders up, hugging your shoulders to your ears. And we'll exhale with an HA, releasing the shoulders. Coming back to your normal, natural breath. Slowly fluttering the eyes open when you feel ready. Coming to awareness of the room around you. Looking at this golden pharaoh, a little statue in front of me. And the Alice Coltrane poster. What do you see? What's happening? What do you feel? Wherever you're at, welcome. And this is just a moment to pause, move a lot. And recently I've been journaling, getting back into my journaling practice again, after listening to another podcast and just realizing that it's something that helps me process. And, when life gets fast, it's easy to let go of the things that are actually really healthy for us. I've just been noticing my own internal antsiness, a lot of urgency towards the future, and slowing down and taking care of my rest routine, my getting down into writing and just letting the thoughts move. So there's just like a few recent things I would want to bring to light. One update, this artistic update yesterday, I went to see a movie called the Toni Cade Bambara Organizing School, something like that. There's a movie about the life and the embodied practice of Toni Cade Bambara. And I've heard their name dripped throughout and sprinkled throughout. I've heard their quotes before I even heard their name. If you ever heard the quote, the revolutionary artist's role or responsibility is to make art, or excuse me, the responsibility of the revolutionary artist is to make the revolution irresistible. I might be paraphrasing. And she has a few other quotes that are just like throughout the world and throughout, especially engaging in any practice that is focused on liberation and our people. You definitely heard her name or her work. And shout out to Rashad over in Baltimore, my good brother. And yeah, he recommended the movie. And I went to see it just knowing that it just felt like it resonated. And I was blown away with just the way this woman lived her life and really found any form, shape, iteration of creativity that could speak to the people. Yeah, and really just lived such an admirable path of how to be an artist in these times. And I also realized that just like the time that she was alive just marked the transition of this new art form as film and visual content. So just the way that she involved her voice in film just seemed like, yeah, just something that I feel like people that I have learned about and grown to love, like James Baldwin and other artists that didn't really grow up in that time or that wasn't their art form. So just love how she found multiple different forms to get across the same message. But some things that stood out to me that I woke up in the morning just like with her quotes running through my head. And it was one of those kind of movies. I was just like, wow, it's really sticking with me. And yeah, one of the quotes, excuse me, one of those quotes is, "Don't leave the arena to the fools." And that has just been really sinking in. Yeah, and the times that we live in and what's happening, my own default and my own personal um, response to any drama or any conflict definitely has been to, I'm gonna just let the drama go out and let these people figure it out themselves. And her call is like, no, we need to step up. We need to engage. We can't leave what's happening or what's going to happen and what's happening in the world to the people that are just showing their foolishness, whether it's ignorance, whether it's ego, whether it's anger, whether it's machismo, patriarchy, all the isms and all these things. It's really something that I've been sitting with and trying to ask myself how my art is not giving into that narrative and how we can reclaim what needs to be reclaimed and take up space and use our voice and be like, okay, the arena might be filled with some fools, but we need to balance it out. And it also got me thinking, like, did we build this arena? I don't even think this was ever our arena, and we're fooled into thinking it is. So yeah, just really this reflection on, I'm gonna leave that arena to the fools because we are building our own arena. And there's just so many ways to look at it. So really appreciated that. And speaking of arenas, we just had the Super Bowl in this part of the world and what is known as American football. It was just some interesting things that I just want to point out. I'm not going to go too much down a rabbit hole, but it was one of the lowest scoring Super Bowls in a very long time. And at one point, it was one of the lowest, like the top 3 lowest scoring Super Bowls. And yeah, there's just something to be said about, I feel like, where we're at as a people, as a society. And I don't know what the views were, but I can imagine the views were low, other than, the anticipation for Bad Bunny. The commercials were terrible. This is just my personal opinion. I look forward to the commercials. They're usually funny. There's usually like something to look forward to, but everything was just terrible. From a consumer perspective, but even just from a bird's eye view, and it's just like, I think we're all realizing, like, what are we doing just watching these people that, with all this stuff that's happening in the world right now, like, how could we give this our attention? We all need entertainment. It's healthy. It's good for us once in a while, but it gets to a point. Where it was just a really sobering moment of like, if I was not invited to this by someone that I care about, and I don't think I would really give this any time of the day, moving forward at that level. And I'm not dissing nobody. You like football, you like your sports, to each his own. It just felt like a marking of, because I'm someone that believes in as above, so below. And when something like that happens, like, it's been 60 Super Bowls. Score ain't never been that low, other than 3 other games. And the way that the stars and everything, any astrology that you look up right now and ask ChatGPT or whoever, everything is lining up in a time that's revolution, that is change, that is all these things that happen, that the stars are lining up in a way that have not happened in such a long time. And the only time prior that the planets and these stars have been in this position is when there was massive revolution. So I know that might be a leap for some people, but that's the connection I was making. And so that being said, there's a lot of movements, a lot of stuff happening. I feel like this, and the connection, to bring it back to the Toni Bambara film, there was just some poignant moments of decisions that she made in her life to really get down to the root of what is not going to go away, and what is eternal. And one of the things that she named that as eternal is our community, and more specifically, how we connect, how we honor our relationships, how we have, she said, potent relationships, how we speak to one another, and how we care for each other. Like, those things are eternal, and really just about like character, how we are carrying ourselves, which was brought up in a previous episode. So all this to say, just as an artist, just really, asking ourselves these questions as a human that creates and is choosing to create and be in relationship with our ancestors, be in relationship with our wellness, our body, our mind, our spirit, to be in right relationship with the earth. All these things, there's a lot to take into consideration. There's a curiosity of what personal signs of change that we're seeing in our own life, what big picture, massive signs of change we're seeing, and to know that as much as that can bring up this fear or anxiety, or, we don't want things to change, there's also a lot of like there's a gift and a release when we just embrace that this change is happening. So how can we face it and go forward with it so that we don't leave this arena to the fools? Because we need us. We need us so we can balance this energy. I think that's all I wanted to say. I am actually about to head to a poetry event with Monet, so I'm really excited. And this is the blessing of being part of community. When you just get invited to things that are aligned with who you are, what you love, and you may not have even known about it, but you get an invitation. So I'm grateful, and shout out to community. But just wanted to drop on here and stay consistent. Be well. This was a quick, short little episode. I hope something spoke to you, and just know I also want to take moments to pause and not just push forward. We will have another guest next week and a few more in the coming weeks. So stay tuned. Please make sure you subscribe to the email list so you can be the first to know about episodes. And sign up so that you can be the first to know about events. So peace, take care, and always, always stay rooted and don't leave the arena to the fools. Peace.